Hi, I'm Andrew, and this morning we'd like to demonstrate how to properly plant a tree. I'm joined this morning with Keep Indianapolis Beautiful's Youth Corps.
Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Peyton.
I'm Jake.
And they're part of a program called Neighborwoods, a plan to plant 100,000 trees in Indianapolis over the next 10 years. Today we're going to demonstrate how to plant a containerized tree. This containerized tree is actually grown in a root bag that's nylon and burlapped. All of the roots are contained in one small bag. The first step in planting a tree is to remove any artificial objects. Remove twine, tags, any foreign objects that shouldn't be there, and put it in your pocket so you can throw it away later. One of the most important things in planting a tree is determining the correct depth. One of the easy tools to use is your shovel. You can turn the shovel handle upside down, putting it next to the root ball, putting your hand on the soil at the top of the root ball, and that's going to tell you how deep you need to dig your hole. One of the easiest ways to kill a tree is by planting it too deep. You can ensure your tree is planted correctly by making sure that the top of the root ball is level or at grade with the surrounding soil. Next, you'll want to remove the burlap bag and the nylon bag. Using a utility knife, cutting from the top to the bottom, being careful to cut away from yourself. Once again, everything artificial is removed from the tree. Once you have all your debris removed from the root ball, you can put it in a pile and you can discard that later. Now you're ready to start digging your hole. First, you want to remove the layer of sod and put that in one pile. The size of your hole, the width of your hole, should be twice the size of the root ball. After the sod has been removed, now we're ready to start digging in the soil. And the soil can be put in its own pile next to the hole. As you're digging, be aware that you don't want to plant too deep. Laying one shovel across the hole, you can use the other shovel to once again measure depth and find out how deep you are. It's good to check the depth of the hole several times while you're digging to ensure that you're not going to be planting your tree too deep. You can always put more soil back in the hole to get your accurate depth. At this point, you can put your tree in the hole. Keep in mind the root ball might be heavy, so use proper lifting techniques. And you want to make sure that the tree is straight. So you have someone at the east-west angle, someone from north and south, looking to make sure it's straight. If you need to correct the angle of the tree, you can always just put a shovel full of dirt underneath the root ball to make the accurate correction. At this point, you're ready to put soil back in the hole. So from your soil pile, the soil goes around the root ball, ensuring that the soil doesn't go on top of the root ball but around the sides. Gently compress the soil with your shovel or with your foot to make sure that there's no air pockets in the bottom of the soil. In our tree plantings, everything that comes out of the hole goes back in the hole. So we want to make sure that all the soil is used. And so since we're not putting that on the root flare, we're going to actually create kind of a donut mound around the outside of the hole. Once again, compressing to make sure there's no air pockets. Firming it up, and then eventually using a rake to make sure all the soil is raked on and around the tree. You can turn your rake upside down so as not to disturb the sod, pulling all the soil back in around the root ball and creating that nice mound in the shape of a donut. And at this time, you can do a little tree dance around your tree to make sure that all the soil is compacted. Be kind of gentle here. Now we're ready to reuse our sod, so we're going to put the sod grass side down so as not to compete with the tree for water. And the sod will be placed in a circle around the outside perimeter of the root ball. And this is going to create kind of a moat within so that it can actually hold water, and the water will slowly drain down and nourish the tree. The final step in planting your tree is adding a nice layer of mulch around the base of the tree. Mulch is a great fertilizer for trees. And you can add about 3 to 4 inches of mulch. One of the most important things is that mulch should be added to the contour similar to the sod, so that you don't want the mulch touching the trunk of the tree. A lot of times people will volcano mulch and put the mulch right up next to the trunk, inviting diseases and insects into the trunk, whereas we'd like the mulch to be about 4 inches away from the trunk of the tree.